If you want to look rich but go broke at the same time, buy a Range Rover from 2014 to 2016.
This is why I'm not buying American modded cars right now.
This is my 2-year review of my $70,000 mistake here.
For most people, a car is the second biggest purchase they'll ever make after a home. And too many people are going into debt for vehicles that aren't even built well. These cars break down fast, they cost a fortune to repair, and keep people stuck in debt. Do you think it's worth paying for style over reliability? Let me know your thoughts in the comments on what you think is the most unreliable vehicle.
This is my 2-year review of my $70,000 mistake here, purchasing this vehicle in 2023 just because I needed a vehicle, and then walking in and letting them play with the numbers for me. Since the 2-year warranty is up, I started doing all the maintenance myself, and so one thing I noticed right off the bat was that my cabin air filter was filthy, so they hadn't changed it in the 2 years we've had it. This right here is already starting to change the color. It's making me angry. Several pieces of chip paint within the first 5,000 miles, and I brought it up, and they told me that the paint was not under warranty. They also told me by Ford specs they were allowed to have these all over the car.
A $70,000 Ford Explorer, and within 5,000 miles, there's already problems with the paint. Ford says it's within specs, but specs don't protect your wallet. People go into debt chasing a vehicle only to end up paying for problems they never expected. This is why price doesn't always equal quality, and why thinking twice before financing expensive vehicles is so important.
This is why I'm not buying American modded cars right now. This Ford Mustang GT500, bought it modified about, gosh, I think it's like 5 months old right now. Ever since I had it, guys, it's been nothing but a pain in the butt for me. It's actually getting picked up today for some final touches. It's such a pain in the guys. I wish I never bought it. Are you taking it? What are you doing?
Picking up.
You're picking up? You're taking it to get fixed?
Yeah.
All right, that's what I thought. This thing was probably just over the top. Should have never bought it. Flex fuel, all that stuff. I don't even know, but I've been having a lot more luck buying M3s that are modded than American cars. So the color was sick, carbon fiber all over the car. I couldn't say no, but I learned my lesson. So American modded cars, I'm gonna take it very easy on it. If it's a catback exhaust, full exhaust, maybe at the most, but it's just been an incredible headache for me. So I'm happy to see that one's finally getting fixed.
Modding a car is a lot of fun, but here's the downside. People are running into serious problems after spending big on modifications. Custom parts, upgraded engines, and fancy features can look great, but they often come with reliability issues and expensive repairs that most buyers don't anticipate. This is another example of how chasing style over substance can trap people into debt and frustration.
What car brand would you never own and why?
Never own a Mini Cooper. They're a pain in the to work on, and service centers are rare.
What is one brand of car that you would never own and why?
Probably a Mitsubishi, because they break down a lot and there's not very many dealerships anywhere.
One car brand that you would never own and why?
Nissan. Never really was a big fan. I just don't like their CVT transmissions.
What is one car brand you would never own and why?
Audi. The maintenance on them is so expensive. There's so many special tools that you need to even work on the vehicle. It's just too much of a hassle.
What car brand would you never own and why?
First one that comes to mind is Lincoln. When it comes to maintenance and simplicity, forget about it. Hour labor just for a cabin air filter replacement, I don't think it's worth it.
These are the people who work on the vehicles every day and see the problems that most buyers never notice until it's too late. From constant maintenance issues to parts that fail far sooner than expected. Just because a car looks flashy, expensive, and popular doesn't mean it's reliable or worth the money. Listening to the experts can save you thousands and prevent getting trapped in debt chasing a car that's more trouble than it's worth.
The next time I make a video about the most unreliable cars or any unreliable car, if I do not put the Audi S3 on that list, somebody please pick me up on it. I've had this car 2 years. Last year it cost me £6,000 worth of repairs. I had a full service on it yesterday, and I mean full service. Everything changed. And that's probably part of the reason why all of a sudden today I have an engine management light, an EPC light, 0 power, and I'm currently stood waiting for the AA. And my car, when it's running, sounds like this. So I was literally coming up that hill there, total loss of power. As you've just heard, car sounds like a tractor. Warning lights on. And now I'm stood in the middle of nowhere waiting for the AA to arrive. The only plus point is The weather's actually quite nice today, so.
The car looks fast and premium, but underneath that badge, owners and mechanics are warning about constant maintenance issues and expensive repairs. Spending big on a car like this might give you style, but it can quickly trap you in debt for problems you didn't expect. High performance doesn't always equal reliability, and flashy cars can often cost more than you bargained for.
If you want to look rich but go broke at the same time, buy a Range Rover from 2014 to 2016. These cars are beautiful, but they are money pit. This specific car was traded into CarMax, and CarMax auctioned it off because it has so many problems. It's not even worth it for them to sell it on their lot. It's blacked out on the outside except for the wheels, and then I like to call this the Panda Spec interior. Black with the white accents. Looks beautiful. These cars are beautiful. Except this is really bad. Let me show you what kind of issues this car has. It's 2016 and it only has 83,000 miles on it. The engine has a major rattling noise. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but it's rattling from the timing chain with only 80,000 miles. That's not even the bad part. The bad part is it has a major coolant leak and a major oil leak from everywhere. I should have taken a video of it on the lift, but underneath of it is a swimming pool of leaking fluids. The car just had the water pump done and the thermostat, and it still has issues. The heat doesn't even work.
The Range Rover certainly turns heads, but underneath that surface, they're notorious for ongoing mechanical and reliability issues. Mechanics and owners consistently report problems that are expensive to fix and can keep adding up over time. Buying one of these vehicles without fully understanding the potential costs isn't just risky, it's a fast track into long-term debt. This is a clear example of how a prestigious badge and flashy looks don't always translate into smart financial decisions, especially when maintenance bills start piling up.
What car brand would you never own and why?
I would never own a Hyundai or Kia product, or basically anything KTM, because they just keep blowing up no matter what you do with them.
What car brand would you never own and why?
Easy. That one's gonna be Hyundai. Not good cars at all. Nothing about Hyundai is good. Kia's another one.
What car brand would you never own and why?
Probably wouldn't ever want to own a Hyundai or Kia product because after 100,000 miles, they just start falling apart into pieces.
At the end of the day, buying a car is one of the biggest purchases people make, and it's easy to get caught up in looks or brand names. Reliability, maintenance costs, and long-term value matter just as much, if not more. Always think about the practical side before spending, because flashy or expensive doesn't always mean it's a smart choice for your finances. I'm going to end the video here and ask you to hit that like button, drop a comment. It really helps push the video out, and if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. The channel is growing much faster than I expected, and I just want to thank everyone that has liked, commented, and subscribed. It really means a lot to me. That's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one.